Okay, here's our video on a system of equations using elimination. And as you know, with a system of equations, we're trying to find where two or more linear equations will meet on a graph, because that is the solution. In this case, we have three linear equations, and they all meet at 1, 1. So that would be the solution to the system of equations. So let's look at one using the elimination method. Here we have 3x plus 2y equals 7, and negative 3x plus 2y equals 1. And with system of equations, we initially start by adding them. So if we look at these equations, we can see we can eliminate the x right away, because 3x plus negative 3x cancels each other. So we can eliminate the x, and we can add the y's together. We have 2y plus 2y equals 4y, and 7 plus 1 is 8. So now we're trying to find what y is. We just do a little algebra. We got divide the 4 on both sides, and we have that y equals 2. Now that we know that y equals 2, we want to plug in y to the equations that we started with. So here we have 3x plus 2, and that was y, but now y is 2. So it's 3x plus 2 times 2 equals 7. 3x plus 4 equals 7. Do some algebra, minus 4 on both sides, and we see that 3x equals 3. Divide the 3 on both sides. We want to isolate the x, and we see that x is 1. Now we have a solution where x is 1 and y is 2. The solution is 1, 2 because x always comes first. So those equations will meet on a graph at 1, 2. Okay, let's check it. You always check to make sure it's right. X was 1, y was 2. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 times 2 is 4. 3 plus 4 is 7. It works for that equation. And on the other equation, negative 3 times 1 is negative 3, plus 2 times 2 is 4. Negative 3 plus 4 is 1. Both work. See if you can do this one. Again, we start with addition. Can you see what variable can be eliminated? Well, we know the y could be eliminated. Negative y plus y is elimination. They eliminate each other. So 2x plus 2x is 4x, and 5 plus 7 is 12. Do the algebra, divide the 4 on both sides, and you get x is 3. So now we know that x is 3. We're going to plug in x in the equations to get y. Okay, so we want to plug in what x is. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 minus y has to equal 5. Well, we can see y is 1. So now we know that the solution is 3, 1, but we still need to check. So here's the original equation. We had 2x minus y equals 5, and 2x plus y equals 7. So if we plug in x and y to both of them, and they both check out, then that is a true solution. So we can see 2 times 3 is 6, minus 1, which is y, and that does equal 5. And the other one, 2 times 3 is 6, plus y does equal 7, does check out. Okay, check. Let's see if you can do this one. Now this one's a little tricky because if you look at it, there's nothing to eliminate. So we have to manipulate one of these equations. In other words, we're going to change one of these equations. So here we have a system, and one of these equations has to change. And what I can do is I can put in a negative 2 on the top equation. And then I can distribute this negative 2. Okay, so if I distribute this, we're going to get negative 2x on top minus 2y equals negative 10. Let's go back a little to make sure you understand. I used a negative 2, and the reason why I use negative 2 is because I have a positive 2x down here. I could have also used negative 3, and that would have helped me too. Either way. So negative 2 times x is negative 2x, negative 2 times y is negative 2y, and negative 2 times 5 is negative 10. So I manipulated the equation, and now you can see I can eliminate the x. So when we eliminate the x, we have negative 2y plus negative 3y is negative 5y. Negative 10 plus 5 is negative 5. Again, with algebra, divide the negative 5 on both sides, and you can see that y is 1. Remember, it's 1 because a negative and a negative, and you divide a negative and a negative, you get a positive. So we have y is 1. So now that we know that y is y is 1, we go back to the original equation that we used, not the one we manipulated, just the original. And we plug in y. So this was the original equation. X plus y equals 5. We know that y is 1, so x plus 1 equals 5. And just by looking at it, we know that x has to be 4. So our solution should be 4, 1. Remember, x comes first, then y. But we must check. So we checked the first one already. We got 5. That was correct. But on the second one, we did 2 times 4. We get 8. Minus 3 times 1, which is 3, and 8 minus 3 is 5. So that checks out. So that's part 1 of system of equations using elimination.